Have you ever felt a strange stirring in your spirit? A sense that something is shifting beneath the surface of your life? It's not anxiety, and it's not a random feeling. It's a divine signal. The truth is, before God releases a significant assignment or blessing into a woman's life, He often sends a series of unmistakable signs. These are not coincidences. They are heavenly markers, aligning your path for what is to come. In this video, we will uncover 7 of these divine signals. What we discuss may be the exact confirmation your heart has been seeking, the encouragement to strengthen your resolve, and the proof that your season of breakthrough is nearer than you think. Stay until the end, because the final sign is the one that will anchor your soul through any storm. And before we dive into these profound truths, if this message resonates with you, if you're ready to understand the language of your own season, do me a small favor. Please hit that like button right now. Your support helps this guidance reach more women who need this confirmation today. Also, be sure to subscribe and tap the notification bell so you never miss our weekly content designed to empower your faith journey. I absolutely love seeing the reach of our global community, so drop a comment below and tell me which city or country you're watching from. It's incredible to connect with all of you from around the world. Now let's begin. Signal 1. Sacred separation. Beloved, before God entrusts a woman with a purpose of eternal significance, He will often draw her into a season of separation. This is not a punishment of isolation, but a sacred setting apart for preparation. Consider the story of Moses. Before he stood before Pharaoh as the deliverer of Israel, he spent 40 years in the wilderness of Midian. Exodus 3:1 details him tending sheep far from the palaces of Egypt. That period felt like exile, but in reality, it was a divine incubation. God was stripping him of his Egyptian arrogance and forging in him the humility and dependence required to lead a nation. When God sets you apart, you may feel forgotten. Friendships may fade, social invitations may stop, and you might feel invisible to the world you once moved in. But understand this: heaven is conducting a deep work in you. You are like a masterpiece being painted in a private studio, not meant for public view until the final brushstroke is complete. A woman of destiny must grasp this. Silence is not rejection, it is divine focus. When a seed is planted in the dark soil, it isn't dead, it's gathering strength for its breakthrough to the light. Many misinterpret this separation as abandonment, but the truth is, this is God's training ground. It's the furnace where character is tempered, the quiet space where self-reliance is exchanged for God-dependence. The patience of Moses was forged in the desert. The courage of Esther was built in a year of hidden preparation. The unwavering faith of Mary was nurtured in the obscurity of Nazareth. So if you are listening right now and you feel cut off, overlooked, or sidelined, hear this clearly. God is preparing you for something so significant that the noise and opinions of the crowd cannot be allowed to interfere. Destiny cannot be microwaved. It is slow cooked in the hidden place. Do not despise this season of separation. It is evidence that God is entrusting you with something far beyond the ordinary. Signal 2. A holy discontent. There comes a pivotal moment when the things that once brought you deep satisfaction suddenly feel empty. The comfort zones that once felt like home now begin to feel like confinement. This is not a spirit of ingratitude or depression. This is what I call a holy discontent. It is a divine stirring. As it says in Isaiah 43:19, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it?" God is creating a holy frustration within you, making you restless with the old because He is preparing you for the new. Think of the Apostle Paul. In Philippians 3, he lists all his former credentials, his heritage, his zeal, his legalistic righteousness, and he declares it all as loss and rubbish, compared to the surpassing greatness of knowing Christ. What once defined him and gave him status no longer held any value. Why? Because God was shifting him into a new global assignment. This discontent is the spiritual equivalent of a mother's body preparing for birth. The old clothes no longer fit because new life is growing within. You cannot be comfortable in yesterday's blessings when you are carrying tomorrow's promise. Many women mistake this season for failure or regression, when in fact it is a profound mark of favor. The very frustration you feel is God's gracious way of disconnecting you from what is familiar, so you can be positioned for what is extraordinary. That feeling that what once was enough is no longer enough is not a curse. It is a clue. It is the sound of heaven whispering, "Daughter, prepare yourself. I am about to do something new in you. Do not mourn the passing of the old season." God is preparing new wine, and it requires a new wineskin. If He is making you restless, it is only because He is about to release you into a purpose that far exceeds your past. Signal 3. The call to release. When God is on the verge of enlarging a woman's life, He will often ask her to release something she holds precious. This is not a divine test of cruelty, but a fundamental principle of the kingdom. You cannot grasp the new while your hands are still full of the old. We see a powerful example in the life of Abraham. In Genesis 22, God instructs him, "Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and sacrifice him." Abraham was being asked to release the very son of the promise, the embodiment of his future. His obedience to release what was most dear to him unlocked a deeper dimension of God's covenant and provision. Big blessings require significant releases. God may be asking you to let go of a relationship that has run its course, a career that no longer aligns with your purpose, a financial security that breeds independence from Him, or even a mindset of fear and limitation. He is not stripping you to leave you empty. He is pruning you so you can bear more fruit. A clenched fist cannot receive a gift, no matter how desperately it wants it. Many of you are holding on to something, a dream, a person, a possession that you believe you cannot live without. You grip it tightly because it represents your security and identity. But in reality, it may be the very barrier standing between you and your next dimension of calling. Imagine you are in a room, holding a single, beautiful candle. It provides light, but it's limited. God is asking you to blow it out, to stand in momentary darkness because He wants to lead you outside to witness the sunrise. If you refuse to release the candle's familiar glow, you will miss the magnificent dawn. God's call to release is not about subtraction, it's about exponential multiplication. Release is not rejection, it is divine redirection. Beloved, if God is urging you to let go, trust that what He is asking you to surrender is minuscule compared to what He is about to place in your open, willing hands. Signal 4. Heightened spiritual alertness. When heaven is preparing to deposit something extraordinary, a woman's spirit becomes supernaturally alert. Her spiritual senses are sharpened, allowing her to perceive what the natural eye cannot yet see. In 1 Samuel 3, we find the young boy Samuel. He was sleeping in the temple when he heard a voice calling his name. At first he thought it was the priest Eli, but after the third time, Eli perceived that the Lord was calling the boy. Samuel's spirit was being tuned to hear God's voice directly, signaling the beginning of his prophetic ministry that would guide a nation. When you're on the verge of a divine shift, your prayer life deepens from a discipline into a delight. Worship becomes a consuming fire, not just a routine. The scriptures you've read for years suddenly explode with new personal revelation. You may have vivid dreams, feel sudden burdens to pray for specific situations, or find yourself weeping with a joy or conviction you can't fully explain. This is not emotionalism, this is alignment. Think of a woman in the earliest stages of pregnancy. Before any outward sign appears, her body is undergoing profound changes. Her senses of smell and taste are heightened, her energy shifts, and she knows something is different long before it's visible to the world. Similarly, when you are spiritually pregnant with purpose, the first signs are internal. Your spirit is leaping within you, like John the Baptist leapt in Elizabeth's womb in the presence of Jesus, Luke 1:41. It's an inner witness responding to a promise that has not yet manifested. This spiritual sensitivity is not a weakness. It is your soul's antenna being adjusted to heaven's frequency. Do not ignore these subtle prompts. They are divine training, preparing you to recognize and steward the breakthrough that is on its way. Signal 5. Purposeful pressure. The journey to promotion is often paved with pressure. The Bible is clear on this in James 1:4. Consider it pure joy whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Pressure is not a sign that God has abandoned you. On the contrary, it is often evidence that He is preparing you for a greater weight of glory. Before a diamond is formed, coal endures immense pressure and heat. Before a muscle grows, it must be stressed beyond its current capacity. Look at the life of Joseph. He endured the pressure of betrayal by his brothers, the pressure of false accusation and imprisonment, and the pressure of being forgotten. Yet each stage of pressure was building his administrative skill, his resilience, and his dependence on God. This process qualified him to carry the weight of being Egypt's prime minister and saving nations from famine. The pressure you feel, financially, emotionally, in your relationships or in your health, is the weight training of destiny. God is expanding your capacity. You cannot pray for a greater anointing and then resist the breaking that makes you a suitable vessel. You cannot ask for a larger territory and reject the stretching required to manage it. This pressure is God's method of purifying your faith, burning away impurities and proving the durability of your character. So if you feel pressed on every side, do not interpret it as a sign of failure. Interpret it as a sign of preparation. The very struggle you are in is training you for the triumph that lies ahead. The pressure does not disqualify you. It is qualifying you for the monumental task God has in store. Signal 6. Strategic alignments. When God is orchestrating a major shift, He will sovereignly orchestrate divine connections. These are not random encounters. They are strategic appointments designed to escort you into your next season. The book of Acts chapter 8 tells the story of Philip. He was having great success in Samaria when an angel told him to go down a desert road. It seemed like a demotion, but on that road he encountered the Ethiopian eunuch, a man of great influence who was searching for truth. Philip explained the gospel to him, baptized him, and sent him back to Africa as, history suggests, one of the first evangelists to that continent. Philip's divine connection altered the course of a nation. When God is about to do something significant in your life, He will order your steps to cross paths with the right people. He will place you in the right field, like Ruth was placed in the field of Boaz, Ruth 2:3. These individuals may appear as mentors, unexpected partners, divine helpers, or even strangers who speak a timely word. However, discernment is crucial. Not every new relationship is from God. How can you tell? Divine connections add to your purpose. They encourage, challenge, and resource you. Distractions, on the other hand, subtract from your focus, drain your energy, and pull you away from your God-given path. In this season, pay close attention to who is entering your life. The person you think you met by chance may be the very key heaven has sent to unlock your next door. These strategic alignments are tangible proof that God is actively working behind the scenes, aligning your footsteps with your destiny. Signal 7. The inner blueprint of assurance. The final and most profound signal is an unshakable inner witness, a deep-seated knowing in your spirit that defies your current circumstances. This is not blind optimism or wishful thinking. It is a divine assurance, a blueprint of the promise laid upon your heart by God Himself. This is perfectly captured in the story of Noah. God gave him a detailed blueprint for an ark and a promise of a flood the world had never seen. For decades Noah built, facing ridicule and doubt. There was no external evidence of rain, but he operated from an inner conviction, a faith that what God had said was as good as done. This inner witness is what sustained Mary when she said, "May your word to me be fulfilled." Luke 1:38. It's the peace that transcends understanding when your bank account is low, but you know provision is coming. It's the joy that bubbles up in the midst of chaos because your spirit is anchored to a future victory. This is not the absence of fear, but the presence of a faith that is greater than the fear. It's a holy confidence that causes you to prepare for what has not yet materialized. Before you hold the promise in your hands, you will feel its reality in your spirit. That feeling is not a fantasy. It is faith. That conviction is not a coincidence, it is confirmation. It is the deposit of the Holy Spirit, guaranteeing what is to come. And when God plants this inner knowing, no amount of doubt, criticism, or delay can uproot it. It is heaven's way of saying, "Daughter, stand firm, it is closer than you think." So let's recap these 7 divine signals. Sacred separation is not abandonment, it is preparation. Holy discontent is not ingratitude, it is transition. The call to release is not loss, It is a divine exchange. Heightened spiritual alertness is not emotionalism, it is alignment. Purposeful pressure is not punishment, it is capacity building. Strategic alignments are not coincidences, they are divine orchestration. The inner blueprint is not imagination, it is heavenly confirmation. The God who began this good work in you is utterly faithful to complete it. Now, I want to hear from you. If this message resonated with you, if you see yourself in any of these 7 signals, I want you to declare it in the comments below. Write this: my season of shift has begun. Let your faith echo like the women of faith before us. Your declaration is a powerful act of faith. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend who needs to hear this, and subscribe for more content to guide and strengthen your spiritual journey. God bless you all. I'll see you in the next video.